everybody, what's up and welcome back to another video. As far as the scent of the day, I'm back on this Fireside candle by Woodwick. This is such a large candle that I did put it off for a while, but I'm trying to finish it up now. If you're new to my channel, then welcome. I would love if you took a moment and subscribed, and also hit that notification bell so you will never miss anything interesting. And also, as a reminder, I do post every single day on Instagram and Reddit, so if you like content that's updated daily, be sure to go give me a follow. So the first thing, I like to always go over our announcements, and I have two really exciting things to talk about. And the first thing I want to show you is this. So what I'm showing you is a box, of course, filled with stuff, but I don't know if you know this about me, but I like to do a lot of like DIY stuff. So since I love makeup so much, I thought it would be a great idea if I try to make my own eyeshadows. So what I've been doing is I've been researching all the components of making your own eyeshadows, and then I finally bit the bullet, ordered the stuff, and I feel ready to actually do it now. So I got most of the stuff in this box, but I'm still waiting on two things to come in the mail. But as soon as those two things arrive, I'm getting started, and I'm really excited to get started on this project. What really excites me about this is just having the unlimited ability to create any color or shadow that I really want to make and have it in my collection. Now, as far as the second announcement, let me show you. You're looking at it. That's my prop for the day, guys. And you know why? Because for this week, for the palette of the week, we're gonna be talking about the Colourpop Star Wars The Child palette. And this is a palette that I received for Christmas. And I really felt like playing with greens recently, so I figured this would be a good one to play around with. So let's open it up and take a look at the color story. So here's an up close look at the color story that we're gonna be working with today. And with this, what we're gonna create is a copycat eye. And that means I just found inspiration from somebody else's look, and we're gonna try to recreate something based upon that look. And now this look is kind of different than what I usually do, and I just figured this look was kind of fun, and it really displays these colors in a great way. So like always, what we're gonna do is get into the tutorial part of the video first, and then the second half of the video will be my in-depth review on this palette. So if you would like to hear my opinion and my experience with this palette, make sure you stay tuned for part 2 of this video. So with all that being said, let's get right into the tutorial. Hey guys, welcome to part 1, which is the tutorial part of this video. And like always, we're gonna start with our prep. Now there's two things I want to point out. The first thing is it's really hot in my house right now. So due to that, it's really affecting how my skin's looking right now. And the second thing is, just like last time, I'm gonna really just focus on one eye today. I really enjoyed doing that last time. And the reason I want to do that again is because I found last time I was able to really do better work than when I was trying to balance between making both eyes look good. So I'd rather just give you one great eye instead of two mediocre eyes. Now, as always, if that bothers you and you would like me to go back to the old way, please let me know in the comments below and I will switch back. Anyway, since my skin's all out of whack today, the first thing I'm gonna go in with is some eye cream. And this is a peptide eye cream from Neogen Lab, and it's Surmetic. And the way I like to apply this is put it a little bit above my eye, on my eye, and under my eye. Maybe a little bit in the outer corner too. And then I just rub it in, and it really increases the moisture, but it doesn't affect the makeup at all. This is one of my favorite eye creams that I have ever used, but I particularly like it before makeup. Next, I'm gonna take my disgusting tube of Revlon Candid concealer, and I'm just gonna apply this to my eyelid area all the way up to my brow. And I'm just gonna take any old brush and blend this out really well. And now my last step is always tight lining. So I'm just gonna take my black eyeliner, and this one's from Tarte. And I've really been using this one lately. And I've honestly just kind of been cycling through all my black eyeliners lately. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna apply this between my lashes on the upper lash line. Now the first brush you want to grab is a really tiny detailed eyeliner brush, because we really need to create a thin line on our eye. And this one I'm using is from a nail set, and I always have these linked down below because these are really great brushes and they always come in handy for my eye looks. So this is the one I'm going to be using. And I'm going to go into a shade called Float Your Crib. And to be honest with you, I'm not really too familiar with the Star Wars movies, so I don't really get what all these shade names mean. I'm kind of more of a Star Trek nerd. And something with these shadows is they are very powdery, so I recommend tapping off your brush every time before you apply it to your eye. So for our base shape, what we're going to do is we're going to create something called a high swoop, and we're going to make that from our very inner corner to our outermost corner. So for this one, I am going to start in my inner corner and then bring it all the way up and then stop, kind of assess where I'm at, and then continue. So I'll show you how I do that. I always start lighter and then build it up after. So I pretty much got my front baseline drawn, so now I have to go down since I've reached my brow arch area. So I'm going to continue this down and then up once I get towards the tail of my brow. So once you have your first initial shape drawn, you can go ahead and darken it up and kind of clean it up and make it really, really impactful. Now the next thing to do is to connect this outer tip to the outer corner of your eye. And the easiest way I found to do that is to actually start at the corner of your eye and go in an upwards direction. The next part is to draw two little detail marks, and this is kind of the part I struggled with, so if you're really good at this, this is your time to shine. But we're gonna draw an arch in the front and an adjacent line to this outer line right there. So I'm gonna start with this inner arch, and you really wanna work hard to try to maintain the same amount of space between the beginning and the end of the line. So that's where I really struggled. I feel like I did better today than I did yesterday, so that's a good thing. Improvement's always good. So still hanging on to that same shade, now we're gonna draw the adjacent mark. And still staying from this outer corner, we're gonna go straight out this time. So now we have our entire initial base shape on. Now we have to do some shading. So I find the next brush for this next step is a really tiny, flat, squared off tip brush. And I'm gonna dip into a shade called Baby Face. And I'm gonna take it along the entire edge of this detail mark right here and shade this top half. Now you could take any small fluffy brush and kind of blend that and kind of diffuse the edge into your skin. The next brush is a fluffy eyeliner brush, and I'm going into the shade called Little Frog. And I'm gonna blend out the bottom of the front 3/4 of this line that we drew right here. Now I'm going to take that initial small detail liner brush and go into the shade called Baby Face once again and fill in this outer quarter. I found when I was doing this look yesterday that I really needed to build up the shade for some opacity. Now with any brush that you prefer, I'm going in with a really tiny MUA detail brush, and I'm picking up the shade called The Force, and I'm putting this on the front 3/4 of the lid. Now we're going to take that same black liner and put it in our waterline. And this lower lash line is super simple. We're just going to take any brush and go into the shade called Baby Face and put this on the entire lower lash line. Now when you get to the outer corner, you want to actually bring the shade all the way out to underneath the secondary line. And now grab your favorite black liquid liner, and now we have to make the detail marks. So the first mark we're gonna make is in between the shimmer shadow and the matte shadow. And we're just gonna make a straight line down the middle. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna trace the outer half of the look. And the last line is on this arch right here. You want to make it right between the two shades. So once you get done with that, the last thing we're going to do is go in with the Super Shock shadow, which is called Precious Cargo. Now this one's kind of hard to pick up on a brush a little bit, but you can get it there. And put this on the inner corner. So now I'm gonna put on some mascara and then we'll get into part 2. So to finish this look up, I just used the Nabla Major Pleasure mascara, and I used it on the top and bottom lashes. And now I really like the idea of this look, and I think it came out all right, but I really had some struggle issues today because my face was so sweaty that the shadows and liner just wasn't working for me. So other than that, I just had fun with it. But if you're ready to move on and hear what I have to say about this palette, then let's get into part 2, which is the review. Hey guys, welcome to part 2, which is the review. And again, this palette is from Colourpop Cosmetics, and it's the Star Wars The Child palette. And of course, you see Baby Yoda right on the front cover of this. And this is just a simple cardboard packaging, but it does feel more than adequate in quality. And when you open it up, you do get a mid-sized decorative mirror inside. And this is a 9-pan palette, and each one weighs in at 1.0 grams. And that's an average amount of shadow per pan. And the great thing about Colourpop shadows is that they're magnetized in the palette, so you can pop them out and switch them around or put them in Z palettes, whatever you want to do with them. They are very highly customizable. So you're looking at a very monochromatic olive tone color story, and contained within this layout there are 4 different formulas in here. There are 4 mattes, 3 metallics, 1 sequin, and 1 Super Shock shadow. I found that the mattes in this palette are nice. So my personal experience with Colourpop is that they're really hit or miss. And by using this palette, I found that it was actually a really good one. I was very easily able to blend them out and also layer them up. I haven't tried creating a complete gradient with it, but I see no issue doing so. I find them to be a more buildable formula instead of directly pigmented, so you have more control over the formula as you apply it. And I like the fact that there's different directions of matte depth in here, so you can kind of create different looks without feeling stuck. Now the same thing with the metallics. There's 3 different metallics in here, and they're all different tones, so that does give you some nice creative leadway. The metallics in here are nice, but they're nothing remarkable. You can apply them with a dry brush, but they work better with a wet brush, and I find them to build quite well. Now there's 1 sequin shadow right here, and what the shadow is it's a matte base with little glitter particles suspended in the formula. And I just typically use this as a matte shadow because I find that the little glitter particles just dust away as you blend it. And the Super Shock shadow is up here. And now this shadow right here feels completely distinct from all the other shadows in this palette. I actually just really like swatching it because it feels really cool. But as far as application, it's really kind of hard to pick up on a brush, and there's absolutely no base pigment to it. So you're really limited into how you can use it, but it's just all right for a highlight type of shade. Now we're going to get into the routine data check. The first thing I would like to mention is that this has not been declared a clean formula, if that's something you're interested in. The next thing is that this is certified cruelty-free. This is a vegan palette. And the last thing I look for is the expiration date. And this palette nor the packaging has any listed expiration date located on it. Now I'm going to quickly throw up a picture of the swatches of this palette so you can see how every shade looks swatched out. Now we're going to get into my favorite part of the video, which is the cost evaluation. So the current cost of this palette is $16 from Colourpop. And breaking that down a little bit, it comes to $1.78 per shade. And breaking that down even further, it comes to $1.78 per gram. So comparing this to similar products available on the market, it's a great price per shade, but it does come at a higher cost per gram than other palettes that I've reviewed in the past. And some interesting facts about this palette is that this is another installment in Colourpop's monochromatic line. So you know how they have always done like the orange and the yellows and stuff? This is their olive tone take on that line. And of course, how could I not mention this is based upon the Star Wars feature film. So as for the last part of this video, we're going to get into my recommendation. So upon using this, I did get a lot of kickback and I did get a lot of fallout. So this is definitely an eyes before base type of palette. So far using this, I didn't get any patchiness and I didn't get any creasing whatsoever. And if you've been on the fence about grabbing this palette, I definitely recommend it. And there are 3 reasons why I do say so. The first reason is it has great functionality. Every single shade in here is very easy to use and it serves the purpose. You get a great balance of shadows, you can create multiple angles of depth, and it even comes with a highlight shade. The next reason that I do want to specifically point out is the depth. So you can really go all brown with it, or you can go all green. So you can create a strictly neutral look with this, or you can create a green look with this, or you can mix the two together, or you can do something gold. There are really endless possibilities with this because you do have more options. And lastly, my third reason why I recommend this is that because it's a great collector's item. Of course, this is an IP product through Colourpop, so I noticed on those types of collabs, they really put a lot more effort into their packaging. So if you're a huge Star Wars fan or a Baby Yoda fan, this would be perfect for you. So guys, that's all I have for today's video. If you liked it, please give me a giant thumbs up. And if you didn't like it, hit that thumbs down button. And until next time, bye. Can you not listen to me? But as soon as, can you turn the heat down a little bit? Can you stop having the zoomies while I'm trying to film? Can you stop having the zoomies? And the second thing I would like to point out is I'm going to add some eye cream as my first prep step because I really want to put some intense moisture on the eye area. No, that's not what I was going to say. Then when I'm trying, now the next thing is to create, I found that yet, and this is just a simple cardboard packaging, but it does, I found in my experience, I haven't tried creating